You are addicted to social media because you take your life for granted. Now imagine for a second you were living in a place without water that was getting bombed 24/7, that had no electricity, that you just lost your freaking dad or something. Would you have time to scroll on social media then? Well, you wouldn't, okay? And this is a broader point, okay? Hopefully, I don't even wish that upon my worst enemy to live in a circumstance like that. But the reason why you're addicted to social media is simply you don't have a purpose. Okay, it's that simple. And now you're asking, okay, how do I get a purpose? Well, I actually did this exercise about 6 months ago. In my case, it was enrolling in 7 courses in my college. Okay, I did like a bunch of math classes, a bunch of computer science classes. And if you know anything about me, I really am not a fan of the current education system. I'm pro education. I think educating yourself is one of the best things in the world. However, I'm not a fan of the education system. And because of setting out the goal of taking 7 classes and actually to do good in them, essentially get all A's in them, I put myself through a challenge that I really didn't want to do. And as the weeks went on, right, it was about 16 weeks of just straight. It was brutal. It was straight brutal annihilation. Trying to turn in the homework, study for the test, while going to the gym, while trying to talk to my friends. It wasn't easy. I had to give up parts of my life for this one goal. And because of this, it made me realize how much of an idiot I am, how much my life is so easy. And I want you to take that away from this video. Your life is easy, okay? You have problems, and that's fine. But your life is easy, and you're wasting your time doing silly things like scrolling on social media. If you truly understood how easy you had it, you wouldn't be watching a second of social media. You wouldn't be wasting your time on fruitless endeavors. And because of this, I want you to go in your own life and do something hard. It could be like me, doing just a bunch of classes, or it could be signing up for a marathon, or trying to talk to 100 people in a day. It could be something that you don't really like. And what you're going to realize in that process is if you don't achieve this other goal of yours, so for my case, it was getting rich, you would rather be dead. You'd rather kill yourself. You need to get to that level of crazy because you're going to use that fuel to get you to your goal. You're going to use that fuel to quit social media. Like in my case, I did not enjoy those 16 weeks. Okay, I actually ended up getting all A's, but I never want to waste a second of my life ever again. I want to just use it all on improving myself, improving my business, improving my athletic ability, improving my social skills. I want to make sure my life is worth living. And that's what I want for you. Because if you don't, you're going to waste your life. If you don't go through this hardship, if you don't put yourself through a challenge, you might not ever realize that your life is worth living. Right now, this sounds pretty crazy, right? This guy's telling me to do something hard with my life, doing something that I might not even want to do. But if you want the drastic result of quitting social media, of not getting the urge to watch social media, you need to do something hard. I could tell you, hey man, it's your purpose. And I think that works for a majority of people. But if you're like me, who's like extremely lazy, but at the same time, extremely ambitious, you may need this. You may need to put yourself through the hell, through fire, through a really tough challenge, because you're going to realize while doing that challenge that you need to live your life. You need to live a life with intention, because no one watches social media content with an intention. If you went onto YouTube, if you went onto Twitter, if you went onto Instagram with an intention of making connections or for your business or another productive reason, then I have no problem with you using social media. I literally use social media for those reasons, this video. But you don't. 99% of people don't, and that's the problem. And to a broader point, even the roadblocks in your life, the tough setbacks, they're really minimal when you go through something hard that you don't want to do. And I'll give you an example. Right now, it feels very hot. Okay, like around me, I don't know if you can tell, I'm literally sweating, but I chose to make this video because I am making this video because I know if I'm not improving upon my speaking skills, if I'm not improving my business, if I'm not doing stuff with intention, I'm going to go back to social media. And I never want to go back to social media because I don't want to waste my life. Because when I was wasting my life at school, that was the worst feeling ever. Okay, that was the worst feeling ever. I don't want you to be there. So go do something hard. Now, it doesn't need to be actually uncomfortable, it just needs to be hard. Like for me, school isn't uncomfortable, it's kind of a nuisance, really. So it could be 7 classes. Take 7 classes, see how you'll fare. You're also going to realize that you're wasting a ton of your time. Maybe it's joining a certain like boot camp for like 3 months, or traveling to a certain place and training for months upon a time. And you're going to realize that you waste so much time. And that's what I want you to see. Because time, without a doubt, is the only thing you're never going to get back. Without a doubt. And the way you're going to see that is by doing some hard stuff, is by failing a bit, is by doing something you really, really, really don't want to do. I told you, look at my own story. By week 12, I was counting the days. You never want to get to a point in your life where you're counting the days. Okay, trust me, that's not a good thing. If you're counting down the days, that's a very scary thing. Okay, you should be living every single day. And you're going to live every day if you live your life with intention, if you live your life with meaning, not according to an algorithm, not according to what everyone else is telling you is okay, what is deemed morally right. It is simply living your own authentic life, and that's what I want for you. So I'll see you later, and remember, you're only doing this for your future self, so why not do it? See you later.